Opposed, me, Euler, stand for the pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I need to swear Mr. Wood.
I, Eldred, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Board of Education member of the Eldred Central School District, beginning July 1, 2020 and ending June 30, 2021, according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. Superintendent's report.
I'd like to start this evening by welcoming Amber Perry. She's new to our school district as an elementary teacher, and Amber comes to us from Sullivan, what is it? Center for Discovery. And she's been there since, 2011? And has a wealth of experience, and that's going to benefit our program and our students. Welcome. The main part of my talk tonight will be on re-entry. We have a plan. It's currently being placed on our website as required by the state of New York. There are a number of assurances that have to be given, and for each assurance we had to write an explanation. And I thank our high school principal for putting it all together. Thanks, Tracy. Because when I first looked at it, I said, I don't know how we're going to get this done. But everybody did their part. Transportation did their part, food service did their part, facilities, and we put it all together, and we have a plan. That's the plan for the state, that we can assure them that we have a safe environment for our students. One of the things that we are doing is replacing the filtration systems in the schools. There won't be HEPA filters because the motors can't handle that, but they will be 4 or 5 times more efficient than what we had before, and it will be clean and certified. And that was part of the assurances we gave the state. The big picture plan is that students will come in on alternating weeks. They will be present, the teachers will be here teaching. There'll be a camera and a microphone in the classroom, and the students that are home will learn synchronously. And we don't expect a kid to sit at the table at home from 8 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon, no more than we expect them to do that here. But when they do language arts, they'll do it with the students that are in school synchronously at home. And when that lesson is over and the teacher takes a break, the student at home will take a break. They'll follow their schedule. And that's true whether they're in kindergarten or 12th grade. And we'll make reasonable accommodations for students at home. When they go out to recess at school, the student at home can go to recess and take a nap and do whatever the parent wants them to do. But this is a solid plan. It provides 5 days of real instruction per week rather than packets or supplementary work. This is real school. And we have to do this, and we don't know for how long we'll have to do it, but this is the kind of plan that could go on for a long time with no learning loss. Our teachers are going to practice the first 2 days of September after Labor Day will be conference days. The 10th and the 11th will be only online learning to give us a chance to make sure the system works, that the technology works, that the bandwidth works. We had a discussion today about bandwidth. If we have to increase it, we will. Our expert who works with us from BOCES feels that the 200 megs that we have are fine and should not be a problem. If it is, we'll add 100 megs, and then for sure we won't have a problem. We have no control over the electricity. As we all know, if we live or work here, the electrical system is fickle. But as I said today to the team, there are problems that we can solve now, and there are problems that we haven't even thought of that are going to come up. We have a solid team, and we'll fix the problems as they arise. One of the things we talked about today is taking temperatures. The state of New York said that that's a parent responsibility. And if the parents take their temperature, that's great. But we are taking their temperature as well when they get on the bus, if the parents drive them when they get to the school. I want to be able to look in a parent's eye and tell them it's safe to send their kid to the school. And I can't do that unless I have control over taking the temperature. Are there any questions from the board about the plan?
Yes. What about parents that would prefer to wait out, let's say, if they want to keep their children at home to learn?
I have offered to parents who are concerned about their child's immune system or their sensitivity to illness that they can do the online for as long as they would like. I've also offered to parents who have a genuine issue with childcare that I would meet with them, we would discuss it, and if they needed to have their child come to school every day in order to be employed, we would work with them with that. I can't think of any other accommodations that any school could offer parents beyond that. We're looking to work with the parents. Parents supported the school district, supported this administration and board, and we need to support them. Any other questions?
Yes. Is this a plan that can still be vetoed by the state before we go to school?
The state will review the plan. In my experience, they'll identify several questions on several assurances and want additional information. I doubt if they'll reject the plan. What the state tends to do is they'll collect all the plans from the 700 school districts. Then they'll identify those that they feel are model plans and judge the rest of the plans against them. And then ask us to modify our plan accordingly. I would think ours could be a model plan, quite frankly. I think it's well written and it covers all the bases.
Is there still a possibility that the governor can say that they don't want us to send our kids to school at all?
Well, he outlined the parameters of 9% and 5%. So if as long as it's lower than 5 or lower, we can begin to bring kids in. If it creeps up to 8 point something, it's an issue. Once it gets to 9, we have to shut it. So he's outlined the parameters, and quite frankly, he's done a pretty good job of keeping the numbers down in New York. And masks will have to be worn by every student and employee throughout the day and on the bus. And it's as difficult to have a 12th grader keep a mask on all day as it is the first grader. But we have to be diligent. That's the number one way to keep from getting sick. Questions?
Dr. Magano, I was looking at the bus. Looks like we'll need 2 full runs. How does that impact the start time?
There'll be a delay in the start time for a number of the students. Melissa has to reality test this. We have a number of people. The special ed students will come every day. The 504 students will attend every day. And students in VOTEC at BOCES will attend every day. So she has to balance that with the AB. And siblings will all attend on the same day, A or B, for babysitting purposes. We're not going to split up a family. And the family can ride together on a bus and be seated closer together than they can if they're not family. So I'm not sure how much longer it's going to take, but there will be, the kids are not going to sit on the bus waiting for the second round because we need those buses. So they're going to empty their buses, the kids are going to come in, they'll start teaching, the other kids will arrive a little bit later. And we're not sure exactly at the high school because Melissa is offering the opportunity for parents to drive their child. And if they commit to driving their child, they have to drive them every day because we don't have the capacity to add a kid each day. But it'll be different. We have the gift of being small. I can't imagine what a Newburgh or Monroe Woodbury School District with 7,000 students is going through dealing with this. We're lucky.
Thank you.
No
Questions?
question, but Wi-Fi could be an issue in certain areas too.
Well, we've identified how many families, Tracy, did not have access to high-speed internet? 16. We're going to prevail upon the providers to offer boosters and whatever other accommodations they can. Our understanding is that if you're persistent enough, they'll do it. I know that Sprint has the Air Raid, Verizon has their version of that, and we're going to see what we can do. There's only 2 families that don't have internet at all?
Yes.
According to our survey. And those students may have to come in every day. And if we have to close, we'll have to accommodate them somehow because if we close, the teachers will still come in and teach from here the students that are home. Because everything is here, the camera, the setup. And we ordered those conference mics like you see out here for every classroom so that the kids at home can actually hear what's going on in the class. And we've ordered cameras that I think they have the remote control, Tracy, where they can follow the teacher.
Yes.
And they're much better than the cameras that come with the laptops. And my colleague will share with you what all of this is costing us in a couple of minutes. Any other questions on the plan?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Magano. Elementary principal report.
He said he was going to be on order.
He is on,
Hey, you want to unmute him?
and he can unmute himself.
All right. Scotty, you there?
Yes, there.
Barely.
Hello?
Barely hear you.
Well, that's not good. He's probably gonna come back to me, I'll let you come back on another device.
All right, I'm going to skip over you for right now. Secondary principal report.
Currently, we've been working on the reopening plans, making sure the mandatory assurances can be met. A survey was sent out to all parents, and I'll give you the update. That was due by noon today. And we did have several families that responded, 182 families responded. And this was, the biggest question was, do you plan to send your child or children back to school in September? If we are allowed pursuant to health guidelines. And overwhelmingly, it's 88.5% said yes. So they want to come back. We did offer also the opportunity to say either every other day, every other week, or every 2 weeks. It was every other week was highlighted as being the best. It was very close between every other week and every other day. The other thing is, the biggest thing was as far as doing synchronous learning, which is where you're here live or at home, you are seeing remotely,
Krebs is back on if you'd like to try and address him now.
Mr. Krebs, you're up.
All right, let's give this a shot. Can you hear me now?
Yes, that's better.
Okay, I have one under my phone. I wanted to talk a little bit about the things that we're doing at the elementary school at Mackenzie. We put out, I'm in the process of putting out a notice to the parents on Monday that coincides with the information that I'll address at the board meeting this evening, so that parents are kind of aware of which direction we're going to go. Also included with that will be Melissa's transportation request on finding out what we need for transportation, so that all of the parents are informed of which direction we're going. I was going to set up the meetings in the middle of August, which would coincide with the decision by the governor on which direction he's going to go. Here's somebody mentioned something about the governor. If he is determined to do not open school, then that would be it. We'd have to follow his direction. If he determines all plans are in order, or we have to modify them to do so, then we'll have an opportunity to do so before school opens. We had pre-K. It wasn't an orientation, it was assessment. So Mrs. Martell and Mrs. Moscatello came in to meet with our pre-K parents, and that occurred over Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We were able to follow our guidance of social distancing to the children, and it went very well. The parents, we sent out a letter to them of what we expected to have happen during that period of time. We were able to, I think, meet with 16 of the 8 parents. I think that was our final number of what we met with during that period of time, so it went very well. I think this time that we're at, this unprecedented time, is really causing us to second guess some of the things that we're doing, and I really like the opportunity to work together as a team, and Dr. Morgano has really done well at bringing parents and staff members together. It's really starting to solidify a plan for reopening. I know we're not going to be able to satisfy everybody and make everybody happy, but if we're moving in a direction where that can be successful, I think that under his leadership and the board, knowing what we're doing is a step in the right direction. And that's all I have to share for you this evening. If you have any questions, I'd be able to answer any that you might have.
Any questions for Mr. Krebs from the board? Okay, thank you, Mr. Krebs. You're up.
All right, so I'm going to go over some of the stuff that we've been getting for the COVID planning. One thing I just want to get out of the way quickly, because I hear a lot about it, and they're starting to send out advertisements for it, but just to clarify to people, you're going to hear a lot about these grant funds that are coming out. Supposedly you're getting $172,000. That is actually happening. But at the beginning of the year, what had happened when they gave us our state aid runs, they took away $172,000 because the federal government gave it to us. So they've already reduced our aid to account for that, so it's not extra money. That's something that the state had already decided you're going to make up for that with less state aid, and that's not part of the 20% cut. So yes, we're getting that money, but it's not extra money. We have a number of summer projects, as Dr. Morgano was talking about, to prepare for school reopening because of COVID. Just to give you a rundown, currently we've approximately spent around $212,000 preparing for COVID-19 reopening. I'll give a quick rundown of where that is. It's going to cost about $47,000 to do the HVAC systems in this school. I'm estimating at least $47,000 for the elementary school as well. We haven't gotten, the contractor hasn't given us the price on that one yet. So that's $94,000. We bought $40,000 worth of technology. That's microphones, cameras for classrooms, things of that nature. We're going to spend $20,000 plus on laptops with cameras on them, so the teachers, if they were at home or working remotely, will have cameras so that they can speak to the children. We spent another $20,000 on Chromebooks. That was planned money though. According to NICET, we're going to end up spending somewhere in the neighborhood of $30,000 on masks. They want us to have one mask available per child per week, and then one mask per day per employee. So the number of masks is going to be just a little over, I believe, 30,000 masks, and they're right around $1 a piece now, just because the demand is so high. And then there's another $25,000 that we spent on miscellaneous cleaning products. We need Clorox wipes and masks. We need gloves. We bought $5,000 worth of sprayers to disinfect all of the rooms, buses at night.
Can I stop you a moment?
Sure.
They're receiving feedback. Is it possible for you to just project or maybe use that other mic? I'm not sure if it's this mic that's giving listeners a difficult time.
Am I too close, or is the
Maybe,
mic itself?
maybe that's just it.
Here, come here. Sit here. That might work.
I'm sorry to stop you.
Sure, okay. Go ahead.
I just get
That
a
might
lot
work
of
fine. I
comments.
can see you there. All right. Hang on.
So we purchased another $25,000 in miscellaneous cleaning products that, as well as we're going to be purchasing sound bars, which Tina's helping me get. So that's going to allow for them to use the whiteboards more effectively.
Lower your mask, I'll move away. Can they hear it now?
Yeah, I'm waiting. Yeah, Scott's saying it's a little better.
A little better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe you want to start from the beginning so everybody knows what's going on.
I apologize for
And then lower
interrupting.
your mask and sort of, just make sure they can hear it. This is pretty important. $200,000 is a lot of money.
That's just the equipment.
We're just getting started.
So we've started off with about $212,000 in equipment that has been purchased or is going to be purchased in the very near future, meaning within the next day. We purchased upgrades to our HVAC system in the high school. That has already been sent. That's $47,000 to retrofit them here. The standard that they're using is MERV instead of HVAC, or instead of HEPA, which they tell me is nearly as effective or just as effective. We're going to retrofit the elementary school at a cost of $47,000. We're going to have to purchase 35,000 masks at minimum to meet the NICET guidelines, and they're selling for about $1 a piece almost. So that's going to be around $30,000. We've purchased $40,000 in technology so that the teachers can give synchronous lessons. That is cameras, microphones. We're going to be purchasing sound bars. We're purchasing $25,000 worth of laptops, so that the teachers will have cameras on their laptops. The laptops we have right now are all older and do not have cameras on the top. We've purchased at least $20,000 in additional cleaning supplies. That's $5,000 in sprayers to disinfect the rooms, to disinfect the buses. That's Clorox wipes, so that when there's a change in the bus runs, that the buses can be disinfected in between runs. We are upgrading our water systems. I mean, it gets down to that. They want to have touchless water systems, which we have one right out here so that they can fill up their water bottles without, putting their face down to it and putting their hands next to it. And we're going to have one on every floor. You're supposed to have one of those for every 100 students under NICET's guidance. So Troy is getting me the information for that. We're going to be ordering those soon. So there's a lot of things that are going on, and I can't imagine that this is going to be it. That all adds up to $212,000. We're also going to be looking for a number of bus monitors. Right now we've posted for 8 of them, and we're going to need monitors for the schools themselves to kind of police the social distancing and the mask wearing in school, in the hallways, so that could be another $150,000 in salaries right there. So we're up to $370,000. I would not be surprised if by the end of this we spend about $500,000 above and beyond on COVID. Now we've saved money in other areas, and with the tax increase that was passed because of the compressor station, and if we only get a 20% aid cut, we will still be okay. I do estimate we're going to put in the neighborhood of $300,000 to $400,000 into our fund balance this year. So we will have savings as well if that's necessary, and I don't believe it will be, but if it is, that money is available to us. There's also been talk, and it's just talk, about $70 billion going to schools. That's been proposed on the Republican side. I'm sure the Democrats want more, so that's why I feel hopeful that we'll get some, because it's already been included in the next bill to pay for COVID-related equipment. So there could be some money coming our way for that. There isn't right now. And that's where we're at in terms of upgrading our system. There's a lot that's going to come to it, and it's going to be costly. We did find some additional money in possibly refinancing our major bond. It was a bond that was taken out, it has to be 10 years ago now, to do the additions to the buildings. Interest rates are rock bottom now. The Fed has just put it back down to 0%. So I've been talking to our bond counsel, and they said that we could refinance that bond at an even lower interest rate. It's already a fairly low interest rate, and save $50,000 a year for the next 5 years. So he said it'd be about $250,000 that you save on refinancing it, and that's after their fees. So that's something that I've started working on with them, and hopefully we'll get that together. It will. That doesn't actually go out to vote for the public, but it will have to be voted on, of course, by the board.
And the real impact of the cost for COVID is that we will put less money in our fund balance.
Right.
We would have been able to put 700,000 or 800,000. Now we're going to put 300,000 or 400,000, right?
That's my anticipation. Yeah, I don't think that we're going to have to use any of the fund balance, but if we do,
But
this is certainly the kind of situation that's
we're not going to be able to put away as much.
correct.
So if you put away $300,000 in fund balance, what would be the total fund balance? What's the total fund balance right now?
The total fund balance right now is 320 and change, and I don't know the exact, to the penny off the top of my head. And we're going to put another 3 to 4, so we'll have somewhere between 6 and 7. We'll be very close to that 4% now.
Even with these expenses that we're going to have?
No, so that's at the end of 1920. So this is the start of a new year. What I'm hoping is that we have like a break-even year, because this is going to be expensive, so we won't put money in the fund balance this year, most likely.
2020, when we put it in from last year, right?
Correct. So that 3 to 4 is for 1920. For 2021, we probably won't put much, if anything, into the fund balance. It's going to kind of be a wash year, and if we go a little over, we have it in there. I don't think we will. I just, with the current situation, I don't want to make any bold claims and say, yeah, we're going to.
Thankfully, we can have these expenses and still not have to take money out of the bank.
Right.
We're just not able to put more in.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to need to take anything out.
Good. That's good fiscal plan.
You all done yet?
Yes, that was at the bond refinancing for my last.
Any other questions for Keela from the board?
No.
Thank you for managing the money the way you did.
Yes. Thank you. Sure.
That's what you paid me for.
All right.
Don't get to use this. Good job.
Hey, I don't, everybody's covered pretty much everything. So at this point, I'll take public comment on consent agenda items only.
I do not see any questions or any raised hands.
And as we do at every meeting, if something comes up, there's always another public comment at the end. If somebody thinks of something or somebody hasn't figured out how to get on that thing, they ask a question, but feel free to ask if you have another question at the end. Because these are times that are not. Good? You good on there?
Good.
Okay, minutes and warrants. I need a motion to approve 501 to 709. Does anybody have, it's quite a selection of pages. Does anybody have any questions on the consent agenda?
Well, I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion made by Amador,
I'll second.
second by Stacy Q. Lisa can hear us, right? Tina?
Yes, she has reached out. And it looks like she's okay.
Okay. There's another motion that's going to be on the floor, and I'm going to abstain from this. I'm going to turn it over to Stacy.
Are we going to vote on
Yes.
consent?
Oh, I'm sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it.
So we also have a probationary appointment, and this is for approval upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools that the board approves the probationary appointment of June Halleck to the position of cook full-time probationary for the 2020-2021 school year as per the current CSEA agreement. This was something that we had discussed, that we needed another cook position, and so that's why this is coming up now. So I need a motion to approve this appointment.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion made by Amador and seconded by Nancy. Any discussion?
And this was, this need was generated by retirement of an individual. We need to have a cook in each building.
Seeing no discussion, can we take a vote? All in
Aye.
favor?
Yes.
Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you, Stacy. Any old business to come before the board? Any new business to come before the board? Second, public comment. Mr. Wade.
Dr. McGann,
Yes.
your opening school plan sounds as reasonable as anything I've heard. Probably you and your fellow superintendents across the country, not just New York, surely have to be concerned about annual state tests, because, you know, we've had a trend where they've been improving. Do you fear that the situation that we're involved with now could somehow undermine?
Unfortunately, I think they may do away with the federal test again, the 3 through 8 test.
Well, what about regions?
Not sure how they're going to deal with the regions. I welcome the state test because, as you know, we're on the list of a school in need of improvement because we had a subgroup of like 5 kids that scored too low. And the only way to get off of it is to demonstrate progress by students doing better on the test, which I'm sure that they would do. And now, because last year they didn't give the test, we're still on the list. So we didn't even have the opportunity to get off. So I'm hoping that they give those federal tests. And I'm in favor of keeping the regions. I think you need an objective assessment at the end of a rigorous course to assess knowledge in the course. Not sure what direction the state is going to go in. As you know, we've been without a commissioner for a while. Albany is in a state of confusion. The governor really has run education for the past year. But these are difficult jobs, running the school district under these conditions. It's a difficult job running it under good conditions. But I enjoy doing it because I do it for the kids.
There are two more comments I have here. Do you want to read them, Trish?
Yeah. First question is, if someone tests positive for COVID, what is the protocol? Example is, if a child on the bus tests positive, do all the students and driver on the bus need to be quarantined? Would his, her classmates and teacher also have to quarantine?
We had a question like this today, and whenever there is an incident in the school, excuse me, we are going to contact the Board of Health, and Nancy McGraw has been very receptive at the Board of Health in Sullivan County, and we'll seek her advice. Because every situation is unique. If the kid is on the bus and there's one other student, that's different than if there were 8 other students. It's different if they get off the bus. We'll contact the health department and seek their guidance. In the meantime, we'll isolate the student. And we have a room for that in each building, and other rooms if we need them.
That's it. Those are the 2 questions, 3 questions.
This is not a type of situation where you can create a list of, if this happens, you do this. Every situation is unique. You have to use your common sense. That's the first prescription. And you need to isolate the sick individual and care for them and seek advice from people that do this for a living. Thank you. Any other questions from anybody here? One-on-one?
All good? All right, with that being said, I need a motion to enter into executive session, and I do believe there'll be business afterwards, right?
There's a high power bill.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Stacy.
Regarding
Personnel.
personnel. I'll second.
Second by Eldred. We'll return at some point.
I am going to resume audio and sound.
All right, we're on?
All good?
Good to go.
Need a motion to come out of executive session?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Second by Commodore.
Voting.
Okay. What's that?
Voting.
Ready to vote for that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so there was some business done. Approval upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools that the board approves the following anticipated positions. 3 anticipated positions for part-time bus monitors, which is part-time, full-time like. 4 anticipated positions for part-time building monitors. Can we make a motion for together or 2 separate motions?
I think you can do it.
So I need a motion on this agenda.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Stacy.
I'll second.
Second by Alvin. All in favor?
Aye.
Done. I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Next meeting is, hold on.
I think it's
There's a lot of there.
And it says Mackenzie. Do you want to do it at Mackenzie or you want to do it here?
We do it here?
I would rather do it here.
Okay. Yeah, I'd rather do it here.
Everybody good with here?
Yes.
When is it?
August 13th,
August 13th.
6 p.m.
I will not be here. So everybody knows.
All right.
Just to let you know. You're up.
Yep.
Thank you all.
Thank you.